Hi,
Yeah.
welcome to Internet Land.
Welcome.
Yeah.
And Michael is getting saucy.
Oh my gosh, look at my Bullet Club shirt. And look at my Bullet Club shirt too, said Mario.
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do this real dumb thing. I think this is gonna be 10 times less funny than we think it is, unfortunately.
That's gonna be great.
All right, let's get right into it this week then.
I'll be talking into the live chat too, so
Yeah, keep up in the live chat if you I don't think anybody's really here yet, but keep up in the live chat because I'm curious to see how this goes. You ready?
born ready.
Ready, Freddy.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Model Citizen Show. I am your host, Logan Moore. With me this week is the same bunch of chuckleheads as always. Mario's here, Max is here, and Michael's here. Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Hey.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey.
What we're gonna be?
I can't believe
I don't know why we're doing
17
that.
real quick.
I cannot believe I do a podcast with you three. Sometimes.
Yeah, I can't believe you guys do a podcast with me either. So
All right. We're going to get right into it because there is a lot of ground to cover this week. We have a reading assignment for the
so much
podcast,
ground.
and we're going to do it live on air. So if you tuned into last week's episode 15, which you should probably go listen to because it's just a mess.
it's real bad. But good. It's good bad.
Great advertising, Logan. Go listen to our mess.
Go listen to it. It's terrible.
It's sponsored by Fig Newtons
It
and
is sponsored by
Shrek
Fig Newtons.
Third.
Shrek the Third.
is
We've got
not-
some new sponsors this week. We'll clue you
not
into
sponsored
them
by
later.
Fig
Clue you
Please don't.
in the beginning.
Shut up. Did you not listen to the episode, Max? It was sponsored by Fig Newtons. Thank you. Somebody mute Max's mic. Thank you. This week, I wrote a script for a movie. This was an assignment in school. I have been taking some script writing classes.
Tell the people of how it came to be, how it was due, and you wrote it weeks before it was due.
Oh, well, that's par for the course with me, dude. Everything I do is at the literal last second. Like, that has been the story of me throughout high school, grade school, college, everything. I always put my work off the last second. So, of course, this was rushed at the last minute as well. So I did an independent study this last semester where I had taken enough script writing classes. I was like, I think I can probably write a full-length feature film script at this point, which is 90 page. My teacher asked that it be 90 to 120 pages, and of course, I barely got it over 90.
It is 93, and this includes the
what
title,
page.
which is just the title by Logan
Yeah.
Moore.
Yeah. That's how scripts work, Max.
I know, but that's just great. It counts.
So 93 pages is what I ended up with, and I turned it in, and it was. So we're going to read that on the air today, and we're going to do a live script reading of this
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
crummy story that I wrote that I don't know. So here's what we're going to do. We'll just get right into it. I won't talk too much about what I think about it at this point in time. It hasn't been altered. So that's the first thing I'll say. It has not been touched up since I first turned it in. I got a bunch of revision notes after I finished it, and I never went back because, of course, I didn't. Well, it's on my time then, so I'm not going to work on that.
I was going to say, this is the file you sent me, is what I have.
So this is like the roughest of the rough. And because of that, I want us to, if there's typos, read the typo. Like,
All
we
right.
need to go
rough.
If
I like
it's
it
rough,
Gotta get down and dirty.
if it's bad, then just stick with it. So we're going to do a live reading of the script, which means we need to figure out who's going to play which roles in the script.
How many main characters are there in the script, Logan?
I'd say there's like 4 or 5 main characters in the script.
Does this
There's
include narrator?
I'd say that the narrator is not narrator. The scene description is obviously the most prevalent part of the script. I would say, dialogue wise, the main character, the main male character. There's a main female character. There is a brother, and there is a father. I'd say those are like the 4 main characters of the script. So, yeah. So we can figure this out. So we have to assign roles, though.
How about this, right? One at a time. We all reach this. One of us picks the descriptor. That descriptor decides who is that person in that scene, and then we can pass it along. So that way, it's always random at all times.
So you're saying the scene descriptor decides who each character. All right, let's at least decide this out the gate. Who wants to be the main character and who wants to be the scene descriptor?
I will describe the scenes.
Max, actually, you can do the scene descriptions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for that.
I think the main character should be like the same person though, for continuity's sake.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's just the way it sounded like Mario was saying, it was like everyone's different.
We shouldn't pass on because I can already see myself as a listener listening to this, and it's going to get very confusing. Yeah. We're not going to read every character's name every time they talk. So once the conversation starts, it's just going to be like a conversation.
All right. Okay.
So,
who should be...
Michael, you should be the main character.
What's his name?
His name is
Is it Rick?
See. His name is
Where's the Luke?
His name is
Nancy? Is it Nancy?
No, Rick is his boss. Luke is the main character.
Okay, I'll be Luke. Isn't that your brother's name?
No, my brother's name is Jacob.
No, same thing.
Is his last name Ladder?
No, it's not.
I tried.
Jeez.
It's a good Rush song.
You should be Luke.
Okay.
Does that work?
That works for me.
And then
Mario.
we can decide all the minor roles as we move forward, I think. Mario, you should be the female lead though.
Okay, yes. I'm all about that.
Okay,
I can fill in the gaps with all the other characters, I guess.
Okay.
Are there any other like main characters later on? Or we'll just decide those when we get there.
We can decide those when we get there. We can burn those bridges when we get there.
The other question.
So you're going to be Rick then, Logan, up front?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay. Should this be a 2-part episode if we get through all of it, or do you think we're going to?
I think we can get through this within the hour.
Okay.
It's not going to take too long.
Well, Logan can keep an eye on the time.
Yeah. Right. Well, okay. And here's what I'm going to allow us to do, though. I wanted to bring this up. I will allow us to have 3 stops at any point in time that we can use if we want to discuss a specific scene, the story at large, where it's going, to make fun of it, so that we're not stopping every 2 seconds. You guys are allowed 3 stops collectively.
Okay. Collectively?
Oh,
no, that's perfect.
Damn it!
That's
all right.
perfect.
So we can stop 3 times and discuss what has happened.
Can one stop be an ad read?
My gosh,
that's what you decide to do. That's what you decide to do. I can grant. I'll tell you what. You're each granted a stop. Does that work?
Okay. That works.
All right. Each one of us is granted a stop. Oh man.
Okay.
I really hope I don't waste that.
Yeah. You've got. You're holding on to it. It's like your one ticket at Disney World. Like your one good ride.
Who's Aqua Lad G Cal?
It's my friend.
What's his name?
He is going nuts in the chat.
He's going in it, man.
Oh, I love it.
In it right now, dude. And I'm looking at what he's saying. I'm like, oh my god, why didn't he write this script?
He's copy and pasting the B movie script into the chat.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted.
This is why you got to be here when we're recording live, so you can see welcome shit like that. Be here.
Be here.
Be here because of the B movie script. Oh.
To get all the buzz, you know.
That's what all the buzz is all about, baby.
All right, let's go because this is
making
gonna
that
take.
pollen.
It's gonna take a while, probably.
Yeah.
All right.
Just so you know, just to get us out of the way, when we do a yelling scene, I'm probably gonna be kind of quiet.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna do whisper yelling.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm so excited. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. All right.
This is not going to be as funny as you guys think it is. It's like I'm going to very sad, depressing.
And I want everyone to do random voices.
Well, here's the thing: we get to pick what the characters are, so we can make it as funny as we want it to be.
There
That's
you go.
right.
What if I'm a sad woman clown? It's all good.
It's all good.
I mean, the scene description is going to tell you what you are. So
yeah, let's do it. I'm going to tell you what you are.
I'm gonna I think it's in the eye of the beholder. I don't agree with these descriptions already. So
I'm gonna Daniel Day-Lewis the shit out of this. So
yeah, I'm gonna Jared Leto the shit out of this.
There you go. There you go.
Get a little method acting going.
All right, let's start.
All right, let's go.
Reverb by Logan Moore.
Hey, can I have my break right now?
Oh my God. Are you really taking it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take it right now.
Okay.
All right. All right.
What are we sponsored by today?
Yeah. So this I'm keep on saying play. Is it supposed to be a movie or play?
It's a movie.
Supposed to be a movie.
Okay. So this
The
movie,
screenplay.
this read is sponsored. It's sponsored by I had a good one. Oh, it's by Oral B. So, where on Amazon Prime Day you could get a Oral B 7,000 for only $83.
There's a coupon code to get $20 off it too.
Yeah, so you could get that. It's pretty good. I on a serious level just bought a toothbrush, or I didn't buy it. I got one as a birthday gift, and it changed my life. Teeth have never felt cleaner. So Oral B, get the shine in.
Get the shine in?
Yeah, that's.
Is it shine in like SHININ apostrophe?
No, that'd be get to shine in, which is Crest's. That's their thing, and then get the shine in. That is Oral B's. You gotta get in that shine, you know.
I'll add in the chat if you need a link to our promotional code. Just go to Amazon. Figure it the fuck out. It's
promotion code model. So if you type in promotion code model, maybe it works.
Oh my gosh.
And it's also brought to you by New Japan Wrestling with their new Lasso Club shirt that doesn't actually exist in New Japan, but they decide to, do fan fiction because that's pretty much what wrestling is anyway. So
yeah, boy.
Yeah, and you can also get these Young Bucks thing, which is also brought to you by Hot Topic.
Oh my gosh.
Where all of the cool hip nerd goths go to all the time. So, get your topic in at Hot Topic.
Oh my gosh. If you shop at Hot Topic and use our code, you can submit a topic for the show.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
if the topics can only be limited to,
if you want to, in the chat,
t-shirts, and
get us
Funko Pop figures
in the chat. If you want to just put in a bunch of companies, and they can maybe sponsor us next week, or maybe at the end of the show. You never know.
You never know. We may strike some deals midway through this script reading. You never know.
It'll be crazy.
Yeah, you never know. I'm emailing people as we speak with my hands, not even on the keyboard. So,
it's amazing the voice to text technology we have.
Yeah, so, Oral B.
Get the shine in.
Get the shine in. Yeah, that's done with my break. I'm good.
All right. Fade in. Exterior city sidewalks, late evening. A city skyline rests on the foreground of a sunset on a cold winter day. There's a light snowfall, and the wind is blowing strongly. Chicago in the dead of winter. We pan down to see hundreds of people walking on the sidewalk. The zoom in continues slowly until we are on street level. The zoom stops and the camera pans up, and we see a young man with a backpack on emerge from a set of double doors. This is Luke Reed. Luke has a tired look on his 23-year-old face, a look that is typically much more common among people twice his age. He is about 6 feet tall and stands outside of the door he just walked out of and begins playing with his phone. His dark black hair blows in the wind as he stands on the sidewalk. He roots around in his pocket and pulls out a set of white headphones. He plugs them into his phone, places the buds into his ears, and presses his touchscreen. We begin to hear music fade in, a song from Damien Rice, and Luke clicks his phone off. He places it in his pocket before beginning to walk with the mass of people. Luke continues on the sidewalk, and we listen to his music with him. His eyes are mainly aimed downward, and he doesn't make eye contact with anyone. Interior train, late evening. With music still playing seamlessly, train doors swing open and Luke is standing before them. He enters inside the slightly warmer interior and luckily finds a seat at the far end of the train, secluded from the other passengers. He takes a seat in the corner and buries himself into it. Luke crosses his arms, trying to keep warm in the cold climate, and closes his eyes to listen to his music. Exterior sidewalk, late evening. Luke is now walking on the sidewalks once again, but he is now alone. His surroundings are no longer those of skyscrapers and billboards, but instead housing units and apartment complexes. The sounds of trains running on the tracks can be heard in the background. The sun is nearly set at this point. Luke continues his slow walk to his destination, all the while with his headphones in his ears. Interior Luke's apartment, late evening. Time really doesn't change. A dimly lit apartment offers no light except that which radiates from the TV. The door of the apartment clicks and is opened slowly by Luke, who walks in and shuts the door behind him. He looks about the room, removes his headphones from his ear. When doing so, the music that we also heard begins to fade. Luke walks into the dark kitchen nearby. The counters are littered with dirty dishes, a random assortment. They used milk cartons and chip bags. It looks as if it hasn't been cleaned in weeks. Luke walks to the refrigerator. The TV in the background is emitting unintelligible sounds throughout the apartment. He opens the fridge quickly and pokes his head inside before shutting it and walking out of the kitchen. He walks into the nearby living room and stares at a recliner with an older man lying in it. The man is asleep, with his suppressed snores can be subtly heard beneath the sound of the TV. Luke glances at the TV and sees political pundits arguing with one another before turning around and walking through a door on the far side of the room, shutting it as he enters. Still looking visibly exhausted, Luke sets his backpack down in a corner of the room before sitting down on the small twin bed that is in the middle of the room. Boxes are scattered all about the room that Luke is in, and the walls are barren. A dresser stands opposite to the wall that the bed that Luke is sitting on. A closet that is half open with more cardboard boxes spilling out of it can be seen behind Luke in the corner of the room. Luke takes the coat he was wearing off and throws it on the floor near his bed. As he does, the sound of a train loudly passes by with its loud clacks and clanks, causing the room to slightly shake. Luke pulls his phone with the headphones still plugged in out of his pocket and sets it on a small table near his bed and plugs it in to a charging cable that lies there. He then removes his button-up dress shirt and his pants and throws them on the floor near where his coat lies. Still sitting on the edge of the bed, Luke stares straight ahead and lets out a sigh before falling backwards onto the bed. Interior office, morning. Luke sits in a small cubicle staring blankly ahead at a computer screen in front of him. His desk is filled with scattered papers and his button-up shirt is wrinkled and messy. His headphones are also in his ears and he seems to be in a daze. Suddenly, a muffled sound can be heard. It steadily grows louder and louder until a hand appears and spins Luke around in his chair. Standing before Luke is in his cubicle is his boss, Rick Hampton. He looks visibly irate and is holding a stack of papers in his hands. Rick.
Oh, is this me?
That's you, Logan.
Logan, that's you.
Get those stupid things out of your ears and listen up. You completely botched this last project, and I need the new set of floor plans on my desk before the end of the day.
Rick throws the papers in his hands down quickly onto Luke's desk. Luke removes his headphones and picks the papers and thumbs through them. Luke.
Sorry, I lost my place. I had to go.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
Your first line.
I tried. No, I know. I tried to scroll down and then like a little bit and then whatever. What did I do wrong? I followed the exact blueprints you gave me. You didn't say anything was wrong when I sent them to you last week.
The customer altered the blueprints and you sent them to after you sent them to me. You should have had the foresight to at least know that would happen ahead of time.
But how is that my fault? I finished the original prints the way they were given to me.
I mean, I'm getting sick of these arguments with you, Reed. I question every day why we even brought you aboard. Get those prints on my desk before 5 o'clock today, or you're going to be in deep shit.
Rick turns around and promptly exits Luke's cubicle. Luke is looking equal parts angry and saddened. Proceeds to spin around in his chair. and throws the papers that Ray gave him in the corner of his desk. He runs his hands through his black hair and puts his face in his hands to calm himself before then picking up the mouse and proceeding to work. Exterior city streets, evening. Luke is walking the streets of Chicago late at night. The sun has set and the cold winds continue to blow hard. Luke slowly walks along the sidewalk with his headphones in and comes upon a bar and walks inside. Interior bar, evening. Luke removes his headphones upon entering the places and places them in his pocket. He scans the room as if looking for someone. Nearby, a woman yells to him. This is Nancy Pierce, the owner of the bar, which is called the Gilded Goat. Nancy.
Who was it?
I think that's gonna be Mario.
Is that me? Is that the love interest or no?
No, it's not the love interest.
But it's another
bar
lady,
owner.
so you can do it.
All right.
Mario.
Older lady.
I'll do the older lady. Okay. Hey, Luke.
Yes.
Your brother got here a couple of minutes ago. He's sitting in the booth over there in the back corner.
Everything in
Nancy.
Chicago?
She's a smoker. Nancy points to the back corner of the bar.
You want the usual?
That'd be great, Nancy. Thanks.
Luke begins to head to the corner of the bar that Nancy motioned to. He arrives at the booth, and there sits Luke's brother, Ryan Reed. Ryan is older than Luke, 28, and has the same dark black colored hair. Ryan is wearing a beanie and has a bottle of beer sitting in front of him on the table. He doesn't see Luke arrive at the table as he is preoccupied by his phone that he is playing with in his hands.
What's up, dude?
Ryan looks up from his phone to see Luke, and a smile appears on his face. He stands up and embraces Luke as if he hadn't seen him in a while. Who's Ryan?
I can be Ryan, I guess.
All right.
He's kind of a major. Yeah. He's not that major, actually. I can be Ryan.
All right. Logan is Ryan.
I'm okay with
Hey,
being
little
all
bro.
the female characters, by the way.
They're going to be all the female characters. There's only like a couple.
Okay.
We'll give you other parts too.
Okay.
Hey, little bro. It's been forever since I've seen you. How's everything going?
Luke hugs Ryan back in return before they separate and sit down on opposite ends of the booth.
Not too bad, I guess. I don't know. Nothing new.
How's dad?
About the same as last time you saw him.
So bad?
Yeah.
He doesn't know I'm here, does he?
No, I didn't tell him. I barely talked to him as it is anyway.
Good. Not that I don't want to see him, but I'm just in town for such a short amount of time. I still haven't talked to him in months.
Nancy appears at the table and hands Luke the drink that he asked for before.
Here's your drink, Luke. Good to see you, Ryan.
Luke picks up old-fashioned. Nancy brought him and takes a small sip. Ryan politely nods and smiles to Nancy.
Thanks, Nancy. Just put it on my tab, please.
No problem, hon.
Nancy leaves the booth and heads back to the bar.
Has been rough having to move back in with them.
I guess we mainly we mainly each keep to ourselves. I come home most nights and he's passed out anyway. It's not like we interact a whole lot.
Well, I'm sorry I haven't been around in forever. Marissa and I just have been so busy with work.
How's your new job going?
It's her new job.
Oh, how's her new job going?
Don't get my wife's name wrong or job wrong. It's not too bad. She's enjoyed finally being able to be her own boss. I just wish we didn't have to move to St. Louis. I was happy when I found out I'd have to come up here for work for a few days.
Ryan takes another sip of his bottle of beer.
You should come down and see Marissa and I sometime. Gives you a chance to get out of town for a bit.
I'd like to, but I have no idea when I'll be able to.
Oh, give me a break. You don't do anything. Don't act like you're busy.
I've been slammed with work lately.
You've been slammed with work lately? Well, that's not a new excuse. Well, that's a new excuse. And it's not like you work on weekends. Come down then.
Someone has to watch Dad.
Oh, come on, Luke. If you don't want to come down, then you don't have to. Don't make stupid excuses up, though.
Silence fills the air for a few moments as both Luke and Ryan take a sip of their respective drinks.
Why do you still come to this place? You don't even live on this side of the city anymore.
Luke shrugs his shoulders nonchalantly.
I don't know. You brought me here the night I turned 21, and I've just come back often ever since then. It's not that far from the office, too.
I brought you to like 6 different bars the night you turned 21. This place has just become kind of a dump.
Well, I guess it's my dump from now on.
Luke promptly chugs back the rest of his old-fashioned before setting the glass down on the table.
You been playing it all lately?
Luke shakes his head quietly and responds.
No.
Silence fills the air for a few more moments before Luke interjects.
You?
No, but I wish. Just been too busy working and keeping Marissa entertained. Marriage is harder than they tell you. You should get back to it, though. There's no reason why you shouldn't be playing right now.
I don't know, maybe.
Ryan grabs his phone and turns it on to check the time.
I got to get going, man. I'm up and out of here earlier in the morning. Got to be back in St. Louis, in the St. Louis office by 1 o'clock for a meeting. The life of a corporate shill. Gotta love it.
Ryan polishes off the rest of his beer in his bottle before setting it down on the table next to Luke's empty glass. He grabs his coat that was lying next to him and slips out of the booth. Luke slips out as well, and the two hug once again.
Be good to yourself, little bro. I know this last year's been tough, but you got to find something to distract yourself.
Luke separates from Ryan and solemnly nods.
And the offer's still on the table if you want to come see Marissa and I soon. I know she'd love to see you. You getting out of here too?
Nah, I'm going to chill here for a bit longer before I head home.
Well, take care of yourself. Let me know if you need anything, all right?
Luke nods again and Ryan firmly grasps his shoulders before letting go and turning to leave. Luke sits back down at the booth and stares down at the table for a few moments. Nancy appears soon after and gathers the empty glasses off of the table.
You want another, Luke?
Luke looks up and replies.
Sure.
Exterior city streets, night. Luke walks along the sidewalks with his coat zipped up to his neck to keep warm against the night's cold air. The sidewalks are empty besides himself.
You need to stop drama being so dramatic with the description.
It's fun.
I love it.
Okay.
It's like Max
Go ahead.
ASMR right now, dude.
Spice of life. And the occasional car drives by every few moments. As he walks, he begins to hear music playing through the quiet night air. He scans around the area to see where it's coming from. The music radiates from a small bar across the street that Luke has never seen before. Its interior is lit with blue lights that are spilling out onto the forefront of the bar's entrance. Luke considers walking over to the bar before pulling up his phone out of his pocket and checking the time. It reads 11:47 p.m. He slips his phone back into his pocket and continues to stare at the bar inquisitively before continuing on the way he was originally walking. Interior, Luke's apartment, night. The apartment door clicks and Luke slowly enters the dark interior, trying to avoid making noise. He quietly shuts the door behind him and tiptoes into the living room. The TV is once again blaring with the sounds of the people speaking, and his father is lying in his recliner, still fast asleep, like the night before. Luke turns around and begins to silently walk into his own room before shutting the door behind him. Interior office break room, afternoon. Luke stands in the front of a coffee machine waiting for his drink to dispense. After it finishes squirting out, Luke grabs the cup and spins around, coming face to face with his boss.
I told you I needed those revised prints on my desk before the end of the day yesterday, Reed. Where the hell are they?
Luke, looking dejected, responds.
I'm about to fish them up right now. There was way more to adjust than you said.
That doesn't matter. I gave you a deadline and you missed it. Those prints should have been turned in to me yesterday.
So you'd rather I turn in unfinished work than actually take my time and do it right?
Rick takes offense to this and walks closer to Luke. He gets right in Luke's face and responds.
I gave you this job out of sympathy for what happened to you last year, and you've been nothing but a pain in my ass since then. Out of the kindness of my own heart, I brought you in here and tried to make you a part of the team, but ever since then, all you've been is defiant and lazy. I'm starting to think that maybe you don't belong here.
Luke looks down to avoid making eye contact with his boss. Then he takes a few steps back.
I had to meet up with my brother yesterday. Couldn't stay late.
You think I care about your personal life? Is that more important than your job?
Luke continues to remain quiet, trying not to anger his boss further.
You know what? I'll answer that question for you. You're suspended without pay for the next week. Gives you a chance to reevaluate what's really important in life, Reed. Now get out of my office.
You weren't in his office.
It's like the office building.
Really? Got it. Luke walks past Rick out of the break room, returning to his cubicle. He walks in, gathers his phone, headphones, jacket, and other assorted items that he is taking with him. He throws his jacket on and walks out of the office quickly without saying anything else. Interior, Gilded Goat Bar, afternoon/evening. The interior of the Gilded Goat is mostly empty, all except for Luke, who sits on a stool at the bar. Near him is an old-fashioned, and he's scrolling through his phone. Nancy, the owner and bartender, is the only other person in the bar besides Luke.
You're in here a bit earlier than you normally come by, Luke. What's going on?
Luke sets down his phone and looks upwards at Nancy before responding.
I just got laid off, sort of. I don't really know.
What was her name? Well, what happened?
Got into a fight with my boss. He suspended me without pay for next week.
You hate that place, don't you?
Yeah, I only took the position because I needed the money. My dad's been out of work for a while now, and someone had to pay rent.
Why don't you go look for a way out of there then? Trust me, hon. The last thing you want to do is work at a place that you hate for the rest of your life.
Luke subtly shrugs his shoulders.
I just don't see a way out right now. I'll go back next week, kiss some ass, and keep my head down.
Luke sips back his old-fashioned and finishes off what is left in the glass before setting it down on the bar.
Let me get you another one. It's on me. Hey-o.
Nancy grabs the now empty glass and proceeds to make another old-fashioned for Luke.
You know, I've been needing a new janitor for quite some time. I'm always looking for new applicants. Just letting you know.
Luke smiles and lets out a laugh.
I'll keep it in mind.
The silence fills the air for a few moments.
Some people told me I should go back and finish college, but that was never for me to begin with. It's just all about jumping through hoops rather than actually learning. I don't know. I do need a way out, though.
Nancy sets Luke's newly made old-fashioned down on the coaster where it previously one sat.
I'm sure you figure out something, hon. Just try and take some time for yourself over the next week. Find a way to relax.
Why does she sound like Watto's aunt, dude? It's fucking ridiculous. It's like a mixture of like that lady from SpongeBob.
What's a
chocolate?
Fucking Watto.
Credits? What are you talking about? No credits.
It reminds me of the Monsters Inc. lady.
I know. I was trying to go for her.
Mike Wazowski.
Luke smiles at her.
Hello, boys.
Luke smiles at her and picks up the drink and takes another sip. Exterior sidewalk night. Luke steps out of the Gilded Goat and zips up his coat. Chicago is still freezing. He pulls his phone out of his pocket along with the headphones. He begins to walk along his usual route home and works to untangle the headphones as he strolls. He finally gets the wires straightened out, goes to plug them into his phone before hearing music in the distance. He looks up and sees the same bar from the night before across. The soft blue glow the bar gives off is drawing Luke in like a bug to a zapper. Luke checks the time on his phone. It reads 9:36 p.m. The night is still early, and Luke has nowhere to be in the morning. Slipping his phone and headphones back into his pocket, Luke looks both ways before sprinting across the street and ended up outside of the bar. He begins slowly working his way closer to the bar, until the blue light radiates from the interior is shining on him. As he approaches, the music he hears begins to grow louder and louder. He reaches the front door and pushes it open, stepping inside to fully envelop himself in the cool blue glow of its lights. Interior, the Blue Note night. Luke enters the bar and begins to look around. The interior of the building looks old and seems to have been recently renovated. The large blue glowing neon sign sits on the wall and it reads The Blue Note, the name of the bar. The bar consists of one large room that centers around a stage. As Luke walks in, a man sits on the stage singing and playing guitar. Tables and chairs sit before the stage that are filled with scattered groups of people here and there. The bar sits on the left side of the room. Luke begins to walk forward and watches the performance of the man on stage, entranced by the music that he plays. His song is a mixture between folk and the blues, and his rough voice seems to fit well within the current atmosphere. Luke comes to a table near the back row and sits down. His eyes are still fixed on the man playing. Luke watches for a few moments and the song comes to an end. As it does, he begins to clap loudly, maybe even a bit too loud. A few people around him take note and look in his direction. The man on stage begins to start into his next song, and Luke scans the room again, this time taking note of who is present. Most of the people sitting down at the tables near him seem to be focused on conversating with one another rather than taking in the performance of the man on stage. Luke wonders why they would even come to this bar if they weren't going to listen to the music. As he continues to take in the performance, someone interrupts him. Mary.
Is this the woman of his dreams?
This is you.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, it's another female character anyway.
No, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
the lead.
Oh, this is
All
the
right.
lead lady. All right.
All right.
Ow, now,
See how this
brown cow.
chemistry
Ow,
works.
now,
Now brown cow. The Human Torch was taking out a bank loan. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to- that's from Maker Man. Okay. All right. This your first concert or something?
Luke looks over and a woman is standing near his table. She is wearing an apron and her blondish brown hair is pulled up into a messy bun on top of her head. This is Mary Lockhart, age 22. Luke makes contact.
What is up with that voice you keep doing?
I love
Mary
it.
Lockhart.
Murray?
When I do the
Lockhart.
names, because they're in all caps.
Yeah, because they're supposed to be.
No,
I
that's
know.
fine. I love
I
it.
know,
It's
but
great.
I'm taking
Keep
creative
doing you,
liberty.
Max. Keep doing that. Keep doing you.
It sounds like you get drunk in the middle of a sentence.
No, I could get a drink out.
Oh no,
Mary
at the
Lockhart.
end of the episode.
I think
I-
whenever you read Mary's name, Mary Lockhart, I think you should do it in a British accent. Mary Lockhart.
Mary Lockhart.
I'll make a British lady. Do you want me to make her a British lady?
Yeah, please do.
She's not British. I didn't write her as British.
You didn't write her as British, but we're the ones acting as British. So
You shouldn't hide a British actor. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Luke makes contact with her dark brown eyes and hesitantly responds.
No, it's not.
Well, you're looking at Greg at stage like he's Elvis.
I mean, he's pretty great. I haven't heard anyone play with as much passion as he has in a while.
Mary shrugs her shoulders.
I get. Fuck you. I guess. He's in here 4 times a week, so I hear about it. I hear about everything he has to offer at this point. He's kind of a dick off stage too. So that probably ruins it for me.
Then I guess I'll just have to admire him from afar then.
Hmm.
What the heck does that line mean?
I think you know what it means.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mary smirks.
My name's Mary, by the way. Want me to get you something to drink?
So I climaxed in about because Luke hasn't seen a woman in such a long time. I'm assuming it's probably been about like 3 years.
What about Nancy?
Well, except for that one fling with Nancy about 2 years ago, but you know. Anyway, continue, Max.
It's called the Gilded Goat because we gilded it with jizz. Okay,
I guess you've said, yeah. Luke pulls his phone out and checks the time again. It's 9:55 p.m. and he has nowhere to be the next day.
Sure. I'll take an old fashioned.
Alrighty then. I'll be back in a moment.
Mary leaves and Luke puts his phone back into his pocket, turning his attention once again to the performance on the stage. Interior, the Blue Note night. It is much later, and the interior of the Blue Note is essentially all empty outside of Luke, who sits in the same chair as before. Music no longer fills the room, and the stage is empty. A few waitresses and waiters are cleaning off the tables near Luke. 2 empty glasses sit at the table Luke is at. Luke does nothing but sit at the table in silence, his arms crossed. He smiles as he sits and is fairly drunk at this point due to the number of drinks he's had throughout the night. Mary returns to the table and talks to Luke.
I've worked here for almost an entire year, and I've never seen anyone so entranced by the artists that come in here. Most of them is just background noise.
Luke doesn't say anything and just subtly laughs to himself. Mary pulls out the chair opposite of Luke and sits down at the table.
You're out of it, aren't you? How much did you have to drink tonight? And by yourself, no less?
I don't know.
Well, you're definitely not the first person I've ever seen come in here and get wasted by themselves.
Luke makes a big grin and starts chuckling.
I just like the music a bunch. I miss music.
What's your name?
Luke Reed.
Well, Luke, we're open every night. You can come back and listen to more crappy acoustic guitar bros anytime you want.
How did I never not know this place existed, though?
I'm telling you, this place sucks. There's at least 50 better music bars that I've been to in the city, and this is nowhere near being the best.
Luke shrugs.
Well, I liked it.
Mary smiles.
Can you get yourself home yourself? Can you get you home by yourself?
Yeah, I do this all the time.
Luke stands up from the table and begins to stumble a bit as he tries to walk. Mary stands up quickly and puts her arm around him.
Whoa there, buddy. Sit down.
She sits Luke back down in a seat at the table.
I have no idea why I'm doing this, but give me a second to go clock out. I'll help you get out of this place.
Luke makes another fake grin that only a drunk person would make.
You're a nice lady.
Well, you're a weird dude. Now sit there and I'll be right back.
Mary walks away and Luke continues with his drunk smile. Exterior city streets, night. Luke and Mary exit the Blue Note, both of them wearing their coats, and Mary with a scarf wrapped around her neck. She has her arm around Luke to help him walk.
All right, now where the heck do you live? Do you want me to call you an Uber or something?
No, I could take the L home. I'm on the south side.
Well, come on then.
I don't even know if the L runs on the south side.
It does.
It?
Yeah.
Okay.
Red line. Well, okay. Well, come on then.
Research I put in this script.
Let's get you to the stupid train.
The two walk along for a few steps, and Luke breaks away from her hold with her arm around him.
I got it. I'm getting my drunk legs.
All right, but don't expect me to help you when you get your face planted on the sidewalk.
I'll be fine.
They continue to walk along in silence for a few feet. Mary laughs as she watches Luke struggling to walk in a straight line.
Oh, you look like you got it for sure.
Luke looks over at her and gives her a thumbs up.
So why did you get all emotional acting tonight for just watching music? I enjoy a good song as much as the next person, but I guess I don't understand why you're so entranced. Who the fuck speaks like this?
An English person?
Luke, while a bit drunk, perks up a bit more. Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I haven't heard live music in a while. I used to be around it all the time. My brother and I used to play together. I guess I just realized tonight how long it had been since I actually heard someone play.
So you were in a band with your brother?
I guess. I don't know. It was all a long time ago.
What do you play?
Guitar. I could sing kind of well.
Well, you could play a set anytime you want at the Blue Note. Just let me know and I'll set you up.
Luke shakes his head.
Thanks, but no. I haven't played it in a long time. I'd be horrible.
Oh, come on. you almost started to cry just listening to some schmuck play on stage at a dive bar, then I'm pretty sure you'd be great yourself.
Luke goes quiet for a few seconds before responding.
I couldn't. I gave it all up a few years ago. It was taking up too much time. I don't know.
Mary doesn't respond. The wind is all that can be heard. Luke speaks up again.
I wanted to be a musician for the longest time. It was all I dreamed of. I never had a lot of close friends, but music always kept me company. Things just changed, though. I wasn't good enough to make a career out of it, and I need to help out my family. I couldn't keep chasing something that was never going to pay off.
Mary looks at Luke and can tell she hit a sore spot. She tries to gently and kindly respond with her next words.
Well, I'd like to hear you play sometime. Even if you ever decide to come out of retirement, I'll be in the front row.
I'll let you know the second I book the tour.
Mary smiles. The L train that Luke needs to board is now within sight. Luke's gained his footing by this point and is walking rather well. The cold night air perked him up quickly upon exiting the bar. Luke gets to the staircase leading upwards to the L and pauses, turning to look back at Mary.
Well, I think I could take it from here. You've completed this escort mission.
Oh my god.
Oh, Lord.
Luke then
Why did I write that?
Luke then salutes to her.
Okay, I need to stop drinking so much. I am acting so weird.
Mary begins to laugh.
I guess I'll see you around then. Maybe I'll come back to your bar sometime.
Mary holds out her hand.
Give me your phone.
Why?
Just give it to me, intoxicated boy.
Luke pulls his phone out of his pocket and sets it in her hand. Mary clicks it on and begins typing for a few moments. She then hands it back to Luke. Luke looks at it and sees she's added her contact info to his phone. Insert phone screen. The name Mary Lockhart was on the screen along with her phone number.
Text me sometime if you want to do something. If not, that's cool too.
Okay, Miss Lockhart.
Call me that again and I'll make sure we never hang out.
The sound of the train rattling along the tracks can be heard, making its way closer to the station. Luke looks back and can see it coming in the distance.
Okay, I gotta go. Can you get home by yourself?
Mary nods her
I'm just
head.
out. I'm just on the street. I'll be fine.
Later, Lockhart.
The train begins to screech to a halt, and Luke smiles one last time before hurrying up the stairs as quick as his drunken self can board his train home. Mary turns around and begins to walk down the sidewalk on her way home. Fade out. Fade in.
All right, let me just say this right now, since it's a good starting point. We're not going to read this whole script in one episode. We're already
So we
at
should
the 40.
part 2.
We can do it in 2 parts. I think we can keep going. There's like a good stopping point halfway through where we can stop, and I can tell you once we get there.
A good cliffhanger?
I don't know. If
Climax?
We'll see. I don't know. I think that's like 50 pages into the script.
Does Nancy come back?
Yeah, where's good old Nancy?
I want Nancy
If we
to
just
come
read
back.
a little bit faster, we can probably get through it a little quicker.
Yeah, Max.
Jeez. All right. Fade in. Interior, Luke's apartment, morning. Luke is lying on his bed, passed out. He isn't underneath the covers, but he's still wearing the same pants from the night before, but wearing no shirt. The bright morning sun streams into his room, and Luke begins to stir. He sits up and rubs his head, still reeling from his hangover. Luke looks like he has just gone 12 rounds with Evander Holyfield in his prime.
Evander Holyfield.
Evander Holyfield?
Evander?
Evander Holyfield. Luke rolls off his bed slowly and grabs his
Gosh, that would mean he was like looked near death. Why did I write that? Anyway, continue.
Luke rolls off his bed slowly and grabs his phone off the bedside table. He turns it on and checks the time, 10:56 a.m. Luke walks over to the corner of his room where the pile of clothes sit and grabs a black t-shirt from the pile and puts it on. He then walks out of his room and into the kitchen. He opens the fridge and peers inside. He grabs a carton on orange juice and shuts the fridge back before going to grab a glass from the nearby cupboard. As he pours his juice, someone else steps into the kitchen. Mark.
I give me Mark.
Go, Mark.
When did you get home last night?
Oh my gosh, it's Nancy as a man.
When did you get home last night?
Luke turns around with his glass of orange juice in his hand. A tall man, over 6 foot, with a scraggly beard and unkempt dark black hair, stands before Luke. This
Basically,
is
Luke Harper.
this is his.
That's what I envisioned when I wrote the script. Is Luke Harper.
That's great.
This is his father and roommate, Mark Reed.
What did you say?
Where were you last night? I stayed up for a while and never heard you come in.
Oh, I was just out with a friend. I'm not really sure when I got home.
Aren't you supposed to be at work? Why are you home?
Luke, realizing he doesn't want to inform his father of what happened at his job, scrambles for an excuse.
No. Today's a work holiday.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, I don't really get it either, but I'm not complaining.
Mark pauses for a moment but then drops the subject.
Made some biscuits this morning if you want some. It should be in the oven.
Dude, this guy's fucking getting biscuits. Fucking feeding this guy some shit, dude.
Oh
It's,
my god.
dude, Luke Harper's fucked up, dude. Like,
Luke-
like that.
Luke sets his glass down and opens the oven. A few biscuits sit on the tray inside, and Luke grabs one off the tray before shutting the door.
So what are you doing today then? Staring around the house like normal?
I'm not really sure. How goes your job search? Hear anything back yet?
Mark shakes his head solemnly as he opens a cupboard nearby. He pulls out a bottle of whiskey and takes the lid off. He fills the glass about half full and then takes a hefty swig before responding.
No, not any callbacks, interviews, nothing.
Well, where have you been looking?
Just a couple places. Marketing position open up on the north side that I was looking at, but I don't think I'm qualified for it. You kids and your stupid social media have changed everything. No one's going to want to hire some 40-year-old washout.
Just keep at it, Dad. You find something worthwhile, then maybe we can get out of this dump.
Mark picks up his glass of whiskey and walks back into the living room to sit down in his recliner.
Don't get your hopes up.
Luke grabs the remainder of his biscuit and his glass of orange juice and heads towards his room. As he does, Mark turns on the TV and clicks it onto one of the usual news channels. As Luke gets into his room, he hears his father start yelling at the TV.
Oh, shut the hell up, Rahm Emanuel, you piece of shit.
Luke closes the door.
Is he still mayor of Chicago? I don't even know.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, then there we go.
Luke closes the door to his room and goes to sit down on his bed. He sets his glass down on the table near his bed and shoves the rest of the biscuit back in his mouth. He climbs onto his bed and lies down. Luke stares at the ceiling for a few moments, taking a second to appreciate that he has nowhere to be. He tries to follow Nancy's advice and take it easy for the next few days. Now it's just trying to figure out what to do with his free time. He grabs his phone and clicks it on, swiping to unlock. As he does, it immediately opens to Mary's contact information from the night before. Luke starts to fill in some of the gaps from the night before and remembers what had happened. He has nothing else to do today, and he enjoyed talking to Mary last night. Why not message her? He clicks onto the text button for a contact icon and types her a message.
Beep bop boop boop, beep bop boop boop. I'm happy to say that I am no longer drunk. Text. Send.
He hits send and sets his phone down on his chest, waiting a response. A few moments later, his phone buzzes. Mary responds.
Should I be reading is this in
This is
my perspective, or would this be Mary talking?
I don't know. There's like 5 texting scenes in this, so we should probably figure this out.
Based off the way the script is formatted, it says Mary, so I think Mary should read it then.
All right, I'll read it. Okay. Beep boop bop boop 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 boop. I'm assuming this is Luke. LOL. You're up early than I expected. And not only, but you're messaging me. I must have been on your mind.
Luke smiles before texting her back.
Bebop boop boop bebop boop boop boop. Don't flatter yourself. This is a charity text. Didn't want to think I died. Send.
He waits a few more moments before she responds again.
Beep, bop, boop, bop, bop, boop, 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 boop. Trust me, that was my number one concern in life. I didn't know what I would do if I've never heard from you again. Send text.
Luke shifts the conversation with his next message.
Beep boop boop boop. Well, you told me to message you if I ever wanted to hang out. So let's hang out. Send.
Boop, 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 bop, boop, boop, boop. Well, don't waste any time. I'm kind of busy today, but I might be able to squeeze you in. Send.
Boop. Beep bop boop boop. What are you so busy with? Question mark. Send.
Beep, bop, boop, boop, boop. I'm currently headed over to Grant Park. I like to go there every now and then. I should be there within the next 30 minutes or so. Feel free to join. Send.
Beep boop 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 beep bop boop. I'll be there. Meet you by the fountain? Question mark. Send.
Beep, bop, boop, boop, bop, boop, boop, boop. Sure. Dot. I'll keep an eye out for you. Dot.
What's up with why are we
Send.
reading punctuation now?
Because
they're
it's a text
robots.
message.
Luke sets his phone down and grabs his orange juice off of the table and chugs back the rest of it. He then rushes out of his room to go shower and head to meet Mary. Exterior, Grant Park, midday.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, you already like, or whatever.
Well, go ahead. Yeah.
You can take mine because I'm not interrupting.
Because why Grant Park? Why did you choose Grant Park?
I just chose this stupid park.
Oh.
So
You
we're
didn't
all the way downtown near the aquarium.
aren't they in the south side?
Well, that's
He
close to the
is.
south side. That's close.
She
No.
lives downtown.
The
She lives
bar,
downtown.
technically,
In the
the
center of
bar
downtown?
was on the south side. So
No, the bar was near his office, which is downtown.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's fine. That makes
So
sense.
he lives on the south side. She lives downtown.
Okay. He
The
can get
Blue Note's
there.
downtown.
He can get
The
there.
bar's downtown. His office is downtown.
He can get there in like 10 minutes by Uber or like 30 minutes by the CTA. So it's good. It all makes sense.
Okay. I just want to know what I just want to know the reason for Grant Park. I was wondering.
I don't know. I was like, yo, what was that park I went to where the Cubs won the World Series? Yeah, they're going to go to that park.
There you
Oh.
go.
there,
That's
that's why it involved the Cubs.
I just feel
Oh.
like now I'm no civvy in the city, but Mario Moore is. Mario, would you go to Grant Park on whenever you're bored?
No, not even a little bit. I would rather go to Millennium Park.
So I'll give you some. Millennium Park is in Grant Park.
It's right next to it. Yeah, it's
It's
conjunction.
like Grant Park's the larger park that encompasses Millennium
It
Park,
is.
I think. Okay, so I'll give you some insight before we start this next part. This next part of the script is when I was like, you know what? This script is very boring, and I need to make these characters kind of interesting. So there's
Sex.
there's some like quirkier conversations over the next like 15 and 20 pages.
Yes.
Quirky conversations.
Yeah, I start injecting a lot. You can tell that like, oh, Logan wrote this because of the conversations that take place.
What are we just going to talk about? 15 pages about why Miles Morales sucks?
Yeah, that's what's coming up.
Guys, don't worry. The Cubs will win the World Series one day.
You should have made him a White Sox.
Is this
fan.
the fever pitch sequel that but it's for the Cubs?
Let's just read the script.
All right. Exterior, Grant Park, midday. Mary stands near a fountain with a camera in her hands, and the strap wrapped around her neck. Her light brown hair is down, unlike the night before at the bar, where she begins to look around her with her eye peering through the camera lens. As she scans around, she sees someone walking toward her. Insert camera shot. Strolling towards her is Luke. He doesn't recognize her yet, but she notices him. She drops her camera away from her eye and begins to walk towards him. As she does, Luke notices her and begins walking in her direction as well.
Took you long enough.
Hey, now I'm a recovering hangover victim. I'm a recover. Hold on.
Are you still drunk?
You're not
Hey,
still
now.
drunk.
Hey, now I'm a recovering
You're an
hangover
all-star.
victim. Bear with me.
Well, that's your own fault.
You were the one delivering me the drinks all night, so you're an accomplice.
Mary rolls her eyes.
Uh-huh. So don't you have a job or some other place to be in the middle of the day? One of those people who just live off the government?
No, that would be my dad. I'm on vacation. Vacation.
Luke motions to her camera dangling from her neck.
So, what?
Oh my gosh.
No.
You were Peter Parker or something? Looking for pictures of Spider-Man?
Spider-Man's in Queens, New York, not Chicago.
It's not the
Yeah.
point.
Even I know that.
Yeah, but that's not
Name
the point
another famous photographer.
in
Red
nerd
Huber.
culture.
Thank you, Max. Thank you.
I did. I named Red Huber.
Eddie Brock, duh.
My point.
You're such a nerd, aren't you?
Oh God.
No, I come here all the time. I've
What
been
a
taking
horrible
pictures.
line.
I've been taking pictures since I was in high school. I guess you could say it's my hobby.
What's the best picture what is the best picture you've ever taken?
My pussy.
Oh God.
Dude, fuck yeah, dude. Let's make
Logan made it really weird. Real
Reverb.
quirky.
porn parody
I don't know, really hard to
before
say.
the actual movie comes out.
I don't know, really hard to say.
Oh, come on. You have to have a favorite. What is it?
You want me to describe what a picture looks like to you? I'll just show you sometimes instead.
I
Fuck
can't
yeah,
tell if this is all
dude.
innuendos.
Dude, yes. Show me some pics, dude.
Mary begins to walk along and Luke follows her. She scans around the area looking through her viewfinder for a good shot. She pauses every now and then and snaps a pic before continuing on.
So what is it that you like about photography specifically?
Some pointed questions.
Hold on, I'm getting a flash flood warning. Okay, whatever. Okay. On my tablet too. Okay. Fuck off. Nobody cares. God damn it. Hold on. Okay, good. All right, here we go. It's always just been really calming for me, the idea that you can capture a single moment in time and look back on it. Something we were never been able to do throughout history until the past couple hundred years. One thing everyone tells me is that you can never stop it is time. But when taking pictures, I feel like breaking that rule.
So I got a question again. Does this girl go to DePaul University? Or Columbia, I mean.
Actually, they
I don't
talk
know.
about their
She probably goes to
college
Columbia.
stories soon.
Yeah,
They
she
talk
probably
about-
dude, this girl probably goes to Columbia.
they talk about college soon.
Does she
Oh
go to
my gosh.
Columbia?
I don't know. You gotta read the
She
script
seems,
to find
she
out.
seems like one of those hipster girls that like hangs out where the hipster girls live at.
Does she have blue hair? No, she has dark brown hair. That's
Is
what-
that Logan Square? Is that where the hipsters hang out?
This is all Logan's imagination. It could be any Logan Square.
All right. Luke nods his head in agreement. As he does, Mary turns the camera towards him and quickly snaps a photo.
See? Now I'll always have this moment for you to remember me. To remember.
Of you for me to remember.
God damn, I couldn't read that shit. Sorry.
Mary pulls the picture up on her camera screen and shows it to Luke. Insert screen image. A picture of Luke with his eyes halfway shut is on the screen. He had blinked as Mary snapped the picture.
Well, I'm really glad we were able to capture that moment forever. I wouldn't ever want to ever forget that one time when I blinked.
I'm happy with it. I'll hang it on my wall.
Mary begins to walk along again and Luke follows. The cold wind of the last few days has died down. A few other people occasionally walk past the two of them.
So have you ever thought about doing this professionally?
Not really. Most of the time, if you want to be a professional photographer, you just sort of have to be shooting events of some sort. That's never been my thing.
Showing like capturing specific moments in time?
No, it's not that. I like certain pictures that I don't have certain narratives tied to them.
Mary stops walking and picks her camera up again. She focuses in and snaps a picture and then brings the camera away from her eye.
Kind of like this.
Mary brings up the picture she had just taken on her camera screen and show Luke once again. Insert screen image. The picture she took is of an old man and an old woman, each sitting on opposite sides of a park bench. The park benches are back to back, and so are the man and woman, each of them looking in the opposite direction of one another.
What brought both of these people to the park today? Why are they here?
Oh my gosh.
Why are they each alone? Do they know each other? What are they both looking at?
Dude, now Mario, what I need from you right now,
Yes.
I need you to do a Pauly Shore accent and start reading Mary
Alright.
and Pauly Shore.
Hold on, let me do that again.
Okay, like from
okay. All right. What brought both of these people to the park today? I can't do it. What are they here? What are they looking at each other? Oh, I can't do it. No, go ahead. Go ahead, continue. I can't do it.
Luke inspects the photo a bit more closely as she continues to speak.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I don't know what the story is behind this photo, but I like to imagine that I do. Each of these people, their own unique story about what brought them both to the park at the same time, on the same day. What caused them to both sit on opposite sides of the same connected bench?
dude, this bitch is fucking ridiculous, dude.
You know what this is fluff to make this longer.
I legitimately don't think
Kind of, yes.
anyone would find Mary like attractive. She seems like some fucking. She seems like a bitch.
She seems like a psycho stalker.
She like just whatever, dude.
Let me show you more photos of these old people that have been stalking all day. Why are they sitting on opposite benches?
All right, Luke.
I get it. It's cool. You're really passionate about this, obviously.
It's partially the way you guys are reading it too, though. Like, when I read over it, I was like, "This doesn't sound that bad," but it's
Hearing it out loud, it's
in context with like the voices they're using and stuff like that. It sounds stupid as can be.
Look,
Yeah.
I'm using my Midwestern like accent, you know, like this is what it would sound like. I'm not even like really doing a voice, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, so
I'm playing it the fuck up.
yeah.
All right.
Mary, on the other hand, let me tell you,
oh my goodness.
should be English.
All right, we're gonna stop at like page 46. That's where
Okay,
I looked ahead.
Okay.
46. All right. Mary turns off the camera and lets it hang back around her neck.
I guess you could say that.
Luke begins to walk back down the path they were wandering down earlier. As he does, he begins to look around and scan the area around him.
You know, I don't think I've been here since
Oh my
the
gosh.
Cubs won the World Series a few years ago. Wait, when was this supposed to be?
Just
What
keep
was the
reading.
time?
Just keep reading.
A few years ago. My brother and I came here for the parade.
You were here for that?
I mean, wasn't the whole city? It was like a citywide holiday.
I guess you just assume you were a Sox fan, South Side and all.
Ha! Oh my god, you're gonna make me read this, dude?
It gets worse. Wait until you read the last sentence of this.
Hey.
Dude, this
Oh,
is stupid. Sox fan? Good one. No, my parents and I used to live up in Edgewater. That's where I grew up. We used to go to Cubs games all the time. They were god awful when I was a kid. Though. When you were a kid, they would have been going to the World Series.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, they would have.
When I was,
Well, no,
Just keep-
like, yeah. It was 2005.
they never went to the World Series. Ever.
Ever? Never.
They have more
Just
World
keep
Series.
reading. Just keep reading. Read the last line of that paragraph.
This weird alternate universe.
Oh.
All right.
They were god awful when I was a kid, though. Back before they won these last 3 championships in a row.
Universe.
What universe are we
I'm
in?
really confused. And this sounds like a good universe. But
This is supposed to. In my head, this story takes place in like 2019, 2020,
Okay.
and they win in 2016, 17, and 18.
okay.
Now we're
I'm
early 2019.
There probably wasn't an L train back then. Doesn't matter. Ready? The blueprints are just buildings that they're developing in the 1920s after the Great Chicago Fire.
I said 2019, not 1919. That's what I said. This is like alternate universe.
Okay. I'm sorry. Okay. My boy.
What do you think? We travel back in time all of a sudden? That's why everybody's got smartphones.
My boyfriend. My boyfriend used to be really into baseball and the Cubs. Going to Wrigley is fun. I haven't been there in years.
Well, if it wasn't January, I would suggest we go to the game this afternoon, maybe this summer.
Mary doesn't respond, and they two of them keep walking along. Luke changes the topic.
So, what happened with this old boyfriend?
The same thing that happens to all ex-boyfriends. They become douchebags who are trying to get with your best friends.
Dude, was this written in the 1940s? All ex-boyfriends do that?
Well, this one did. And considering he's really the only ex I have, I just oh, really? Okay.
Oh, well,
Really great writing.
Okay. All right.
I would have assumed that.
Sure.
This
I
picture
just-
would have any boyfriend really.
I just assume that that's what all guys are like.
Well, as a representative of the male species, I apologize on behalf of all men.
God, that's a cliche. Mary chuckles. No one else
I'm
does.
writing a very liberal script.
It's not a big deal. It happened years ago at this point. I'm over it.
Luke begins to jog in place a bit to try and warm up.
What's wrong with you?
It's just cold. I don't know how you come out here and shoot pictures in the wintertime. I'm freezing.
I've known you for less than 24 hours, and you've already one of the biggest babies I've ever met. You want to go grab something to eat?
Sure, you don't.
That was a nice non sequitur.
Sure you don't want to shoot anything else?
Yeah, I already got enough when I was waiting for you to get here.
Well, then sure. Let's go grab some food. There's that diner not too far from where I live. If you'd like to go there, I'll buy.
Mary puts her hand out and motions before the path in front of them.
Well, then lead the way.
Interior diner, afternoon.
Now, if you want to talk about lengthening a script,
This
welcome to that scene. This one right here, where it's just a
God.
bunch of garbage filler.
So is this like directed by Mark Webb?
I was gonna think this is an episode of Dragon Ball Z, like the one where Goku gets his driver's license.
I'm seeing this going into some sort of 500 Days of Summer route.
It's not as intricate as you'd like to think. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just saying that's like the feel of that movie. That's how I feel this movie would be, like how it's shot and everything.
I take that as a compliment, because actually when I was writing this, I was like, okay, what movies do I want this to be like? And that was like one of the 3 or 4
Well,
that I kind of like aimed for.
you kind of like while I'm reading this, that's how I picture it. So good job.
Mary,
I don't know if that's a credit to me, but anyway.
Mary and Luke are sitting in a booth in the most stereotypical old school diner. A jukebox sits at the corner of the room, and the wallpaper looks like it hasn't been changed since the 60s. An older
fucking Steak and Shake.
an older waitress picks up the menus off the table where Mary and Luke are sitting and walks away.
So you said you're on vacation from work this week?
Oh my
Is
gosh.
this Is this your ideal vacation? Getting drunk by yourself in random bars every night?
I will say this is probably one of those like old school Portillos, not like the new Portillos. That's what I'm.
Okay.
Not exactly. I guess vacation wasn't the right word. My boss actually laid me off yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nah, it's cool, man. It only for a week. And I needed a break anyway. That place drives me insane.
Where do you work?
It's called a place called Simon and Garfunkel Technologies. I work with their engineering team and mainly work on building automation.
Also, fun fact, all of this exposition is my job. So
Oh, okay.
this is just what I do at work. So
Okay.
fun fact.
So you're an engineer? You probably make a ton of money.
Huh. Good one. No, I may work with their engineering team, but I'm about as low on the totem pole as you can be. Everyone else I work with just dumps crap on my desk all day that they're too lazy to do themselves. I hate it.
The delivery was great.
Mary takes a sip of her water.
Good job, guys.
Can you tell me more about your job? Luke, I mean Logan.
I mean, guys, this is clearly based on Logan's life, and it was way before we got to the job description. Mary takes a sip of her water and nonchalantly responds,
Then do something else.
I can't just up and quit my job. I have to pay rent and take care of my dad and pay for lunch for girls like you.
Have you ever tried to look anywhere else?
She just ignores what he just said.
That wasn't written as like a sexual or like a flirty type thing.
Logan, I think a majority of these lines you didn't intend to be sexual or flirty, but they
Like-
innuendos out the wazoo.
I think that's freaking hilarious, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Not really, even though I hate the work that I'm doing. They pay me really well, and I have no idea where else I would go.
Get back into music. That's what you're passionate about.
I love how she knows all this after 12 hours with him. Luke slowly
he
shakes
told
his
it all
head.
to her the night before when he was drunk. He's like, I love
know.
music.
Yeah, but come on, like anyway.
That's the one.
Luke
on a-
slowly shakes his head.
on a real level, that is like the one thing he shared. So
He was also drunk, so he was like being a little bit, and he was like, anyway, go ahead. Continue.
I already tried that once. I'm not going through that all again.
I guess I just don't see why you want to stay at a place that you hate.
Luke, somewhat frustrated, replies in a snarky manner.
I'm not. Well, I'm sure you just love your job, don't you?
What is that supposed to mean?
Luke, realizing he's acting like a prick, tries to save face quickly.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I just assumed you hated your job too.
Working at that bar isn't my favorite thing, but it pays the bills. It's better than going back to college.
Dropped out of college too?
Sorta. I don't know. I just never ended up going back after the summer of my sophomore year. It wasn't for me.
That's how I felt.
That's
That's now I felt. Oh my God.
That's how I felt. It was all about finishing assignments and turning in busy work rather than actually learning a skill.
Where did you go?
This guy went to University of Chicago.
I went to Columbia. No, that's where I went.
No, she did not. That's a lie. She probably got like a freaking 22 on her ACT. She would be no way she'd be able to go to the University of Chicago. That's like a really good school.
University of Chicago. Is it a good school? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
chose
it's
a
a-
random
that's-
school.
Yeah.
That's like a school you have to get like a 30 on your ACT for, dude.
Yeah, it's a U of I, right?
Bunch
No,
of
not U of
fonts.
I. It's let me see if I'm getting the right one. I really need to check this because
UIC?
not UIC. UIC is University of Illinois in Chicago. University of Chicago is kind of in a bad neighborhood, but it's a really good school.
I love how we're looking this up.
Yeah, University of Chicago is like a super good school. It's like I don't know. You have to be real smart. And she's not smart enough for this. I'm just saying. I don't think both of them are, honestly. No offense, Logan. I know this is supposed to be you or something, and I'm not saying this is you. I'm picturing Luke, and I don't think Luke was smart enough to go to University of Chicago.
No, probably not.
But
But I'll fix that. Thank you.
Logan, would you be far smart enough? Yeah, probably. I would assume so. But
I
Luke,
have no idea.
if you said UIC though, I would believe that. I was gonna go to UIC or even like Columbia. She totally went to. They could have both gone to Columbia because he was a music dude. So
That's where I went.
Thank you.
now they go to Columbia now. Just so you know.
Got it. It's your
Okay.
line.
Oh, is it me? We're both so original.
God.
Turn
The
into
waitress-
Keanu Reeves. All right, go ahead.
The waitress from earlier arrives back to the table with plates of food in each hand. She sets a plate with a cheeseburger and fries down in front of Luke and a bowl of soup and a ham and turkey sandwich down in front of Mary. Logan is the waitress.
All right.
Here you both go. Need anything else?
I love it.
Nancy's back.
I think we're good, thanks.
Luke picks up his burger and takes a large bite out of it. Mary stirs her soup and tries to let it cool off for a bit.
This is me taking a break. I wish that all the other female characters were just Nancy, but like it's her second job
like that character in
Thanks, Nancy.
Avatar.
Yeah, she just
Like
keeps
in Avatar: The Last Airbender, when they're in the swamp city and the mud
Yeah.
and the guy, he just keeps doing the same thing.
or she's the Nurse Joy. You know, I would like that. She'd just be okay. All right, go ahead. Where the fuck were we?
I think it's
All right, we got
Cool
like
off
12
for
or
a bit.
13. We got
Okay.
like 12 or 13 more pages.
Okay, so what are you going to school for?
Oh, it's like me. Communications, I think. I don't know. That's the track I was on, at least. I never really got past my core classes, so I never ended up at even declaring a major. What'd you do?
I was going for English. Same as you, though.
She's an idiot. She's going for English, dude.
I never got too far into it. You got to learn about biology before you can learn about how to write, you know?
Exactly. So why'd you choose English? That's what I want to know.
That's what you ask in a second.
I don't know. I always enjoyed reading. I have a book with me almost all of the time, except for now I just have a camera. I guess I want to know how to potentially write stories for myself.
Luke nods his head as he takes another big bite out of his burger.
Why communications?
Luke shrugs.
Those you can tell I'm just like totally trying to fluff up this script.
This needs to be 90 pages and I'm only on 35. This needs to be 90 pages. I'm only on 35. Luke shrugs and then speaks with his mouth somewhat full of food.
That's. I gotta hold on. I gotta put something in my mouth real quick. I just like the guy in the outside to find food. So I would enjoy it. I did.
For the
Mary-
audio listeners only, he put a ball gag in. Sorry.
Mary and Luke both sit in silence for a few moments as they eat their respective meals.
I feel kind of worthless for not finishing college though. Like, even though it's clearly not for either of us, I feel like I wasted. I feel like I wasted my potential by dropping out.
Why? You could be just as happy and successful without having to go to school.
I think it's mainly because of my brother. He graduated with a business degree and he's got some big time job down in St. Louis, you know.
Do you
Or
resent him for that?
Oh no, I love my brother, but he's a successful one in the family now. He's married, has a good job, and got out of the city. I'm just sitting in this same diner that I come to every week and eating the same burger and fries.
Mary stays quiet for a couple of seconds before responding.
Well, you at least have something new with you at the same old diner this time.
Luke looks up from his food and smiles.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Oh my gosh!
You said your place is around here?
Yeah,
Score.
just a couple of blocks down the street.
I want to see your place. We should go
Yeah,
there
we
after
do.
we finish eating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke gets a bit nervous and tries to shoot down the idea rather quickly. What happened to her busy day?
No, let's not do that. My place is a disaster, and I have no idea what my dad's gonna be doing.
Oh, come on. I'm not on the south side very often. They say you can get a good idea of who someone is unless you see their room.
Luke begins to laugh.
If you see what my room looks like, you'll think I'm sort of a serial killer.
That's precisely why I want to see it. If I'm going to hang out with you anymore, I want to know what kind of person you are.
Luke begrudgingly gives in.
Fine. But we aren't staying long. I spend as little time as I can at that place.
Mary smiles and Luke takes another large bite out of his burger. Interior, Luke's apartment, late afternoon. Luke puts his keys into the door of his apartment. Mary stands near him. Before he turns the key, he turns to her in the middle of the dank hallway.
Dude, this hallway's so dank, dude. Fuck yeah. Look, I don't know what my dad's going to be doing. He may not want company.
Stop freaking out. You've been acting strange the entire way here.
I know. I just want you to know that my dad isn't the most welcoming person. Don't feel put off if he treat you weirdly.
Luke, it's fine. I'm a big girl.
All right then.
Oh my gosh. Luke hesitantly turns the key and swings the door open. He rushes inside and begins looking around the living room, but finds no one. His father isn't in the kitchen, and Luke rushes to his dad's room and pokes his head inside to find it's empty. He walks to the back of the living room and turns off the TV that's blaring its typical sounds from news anchors. Mary stands paused in front of the door to the apartment and looks at Luke.
Well, I guess he's not here after all. That's probably a good thing.
Mary begins to walk towards the only room that Luke didn't bother to look in, which she now assumes is his own. Luke quickly begins to follow her.
Where are you going, nosy?
I told you. I want to see what your room looks like. He'll tell me about who you are.
Chick sucks.
Oh my
Fuck this girl, dude.
Mary pushes the doorbell and walks inside. She begins to look at all around and realize that not much is to be seen.
Well, for starters, you're boring.
Told you there's nothing to see.
Luke walks over to his bed and sits down on the edge of it. Mary continues to look around, inspecting various items and taking note of where things are located.
Well, the pile of clothes in the corner of your room means you're a slob. You don't have any posters or wallpapers, which means you're a terrible interior decorator. And what's with all these boxes? Did you just move in?
No, I've been here about 8 months at this point.
At this moment, a train goes riding past Luke's apartment, and the room begins to slightly shake.
And I'm going to assume you don't sleep very well because of that all night.
Hold on, sorry.
Oh.
I actually clicked the right button and then I got all messed up. Oh, you get used to it.
Seriously, though, you haven't even unpacked these boxes. What's in them?
Mary begins to walk over to the corner of Luke's room where there are groups of cardboard boxes stacked upon one another.
Oh, it's just a bunch of old stuff I never bothered to unpack once we came here. Mostly junk. I should probably just get rid of a lot of it.
Mary takes the first box off the top of the stack and sets it down on the floor. She gets down on her knees and opens it up and begins looting around inside. She picks something up from inside and pulls it out. Oh my gosh.
Jesus Christ.
This play or this movie is brought to you by Sony, where they can see the PlayStation 4 in action. Sony, where the boys go.
Is this a PlayStation 4?
Yes, Max?
Oh, the item she is holding up is a controller to the system.
Oh, yeah, I forgot I even had that.
Why don't you have this plugged in?
Mary begins to dig around in the box even more to see what else is inside.
I never felt like playing again after we moved here. I stopped paying attention to what came out, and it just started to feel like a waste of time whenever I would play.
Mary pulls something else out of the box, this time a game case.
Oh my fucking god. God damn it. Okay.
This meeting is also brought to you by Naughty Dog, makers of such hits as Crash Bandicoot and
Jack and Daxter.
You can tell I was just like real bored one night. I was like, oh man,
Jack X Combat Racing.
Naughty Dogs, the experts at games. That's our slogan.
No way, you have The Last of Us?
Oh yeah, I beat that game in a single sitting the first time I played it.
I can never get past the opening without crying.
Me
She's
too.
just getting worse and worse. Sorry.
It's the only game that's ever really made me emotional.
I think Luke's getting worse as well.
My brother and I used to play all the time growing up. Once he moved out, I kept playing for a while, but eventually it fell away. Kind of like you.
Mary continues to dig around in the box a bit more and pulls out another game case.
This one's worse. This is worse.
Yeah, this is real bad.
That was bad, dude.
Ugh, I hate this game.
Luke looks over and laughs
Fuck
when
you.
he recognizes what the game that Mary is referring to.
This movie is also brought by whoever made Bloodborne. I forgot their name.
Studio Japan.
From software.
From software. We make hard games that are shitty, but we make them too hard so then people think they're really hard, but really they're just poorly designed video games. Thank you. Our slogan is "Fuck you."
I thought that was their slogan.
Oh yeah, that pretty much all of that was the slogan. Even when I said this is our
Gosh, this is
slogan.
getting worse. We gotta wrap this up.
We're getting
Bloodborne?
close.
Oh my god, I read a little bit lower, and I'm like, fuck you.
Bloodborne, I love it so much. Probably my favorite game on that system.
It's way too hard. I could never get past the opening area, and I played it for hours on end.
Sounds like you just need to get good.
Oh my
It gets
gosh.
easier the more you play.
No thanks. I'd rather play literally anything else.
Mary drops the game back in the box and pushes it aside. She picks up another box off the top of the stack and opens it up. Luke falls back onto his bed and lays down while she continues to look through the new box.
What is this, Spider-Man comics?
This I thought before that was the last sponsor, but our newest sponsor, Marvel, has decided to email us back and say, "Hey, we like what you guys are doing." So Marvel now sponsored us, and Spider-Man: Homecoming is in theaters right now, and yeah, you could see him swing webs and stuff. Spider-Man. I got white fluid all over you.
It'll dissolve in 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I should probably sell those.
Why do you have so many?
Don't ask.
Mary sets
Like how harsh he got.
Mary sets this box aside next to the other one and picks up another one off the stack and opens it up as well.
You know, this is kind of like an invasion of privacy, right?
I never said to stop.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck
Oh.
yeah, dude. I assume it was common courtesy not to pour through other people's things.
Mary continues to look inside this new box and pulls out a picture. She inspects it and sees 4 people, one of whom is Luke. Insert photograph. The picture shows Luke and his brother Ryan standing, smiling with their arms wrapped around 2 other people. One of these people is Luke's father, Mark. Mark looks much different than when we have seen him in the present. He's clean-shaven and has a smile on his face. The other is a woman who's smaller than the other 3, and she, too, is smiling. Mary continues to look at the picture for a few moments before asking Luke about it.
Is this your family?
Luke sits up from his
so
bed and quickly
long.
looks over at what Mary is holding in her hand.
Oh, yeah. That's us.
Luke gets off his bed and walks over to where Mary is sitting. He sits down near her and takes the photo from her and inspects it for himself for a few moments.
That's Ryan. This is my dad, and that's
Luke pauses.
my mom.
When was this taken?
About 3 years ago, I think. Marissa, Ryan's wife, took this picture, if I remember right. They had just started dating.
Y'all seem happy. More picture perfect than my family.
Are they around here?
Mary shakes her head.
My brother ran off to New York with some girl he met. I don't talk to him much anymore. My parents moved to Denver to be near my dad's parents. I stayed behind in Chicago.
Luke continues to inspect the picture in his hand while Mary speaks. After a few moments, he hands it back to her. Mary looks at it once again and then speaks.
You never mentioned your mom, really. Are her and your dad still together?
Oh my gosh, it's been 15, 16 hours. Luke stays in touch for a moment and
been
doesn't
what?
move. It's been like 16 hours since she's known him.
So?
I think you've never mentioned your mom.
Yeah, well, maybe that's a bad choice of words.
Luke stays silent for a moment and doesn't move. Mary knows she touched on a sore spot and is about to speak again before Luke finally, but softly,
They both need to get checked out on those sore spots, man.
go to a dermatologist or something.
My mom, she died a while back.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like
I didn't know.
it's like
Ooh.
ooh.
In this podcast.
I'm trying to get there. Mary extends her hand and puts it on Luke's shoulder.
No, it's fine. I know.
A beat.
Oh shit! Fuck.
That's not your line. But...
No, I know. I lost it. She got into a car accident about a year and a half ago. Some idiot tried to run a red light while she was on her way home.
Wait,
Such an idiot. He was
Tried
late.
to run a red light or did run? Another beat.
Well, if he got halfway through the intersection and hit a car, did he really cross the intersection?
You got a good point.
He still ran the light though.
He didn't get under it. You got to get under that light to run it.
Got a
Wait,
good point.
I guess
I'm with Luke. I mean Logan on this one. So
another beat.
I was living alone at the time, but ended up moving back in with my dad after it happened. We eventually came here because he couldn't stay in our old house anymore. He's never really bounced back since she died. Our relationship has been even more difficult these last few years, but yeah, I don't know. I guess we're doing all right.
Mary leans forward and hugs Luke. Luke doesn't expect this, but slowly puts one arm around Mary in return.
You're a good guy, Luke.
Mary backs away and Luke looks at her and gives her a very matter-of-fact grin. Mary sets the picture back down in the boxes and closes it and pushes it away near the other boxes where she had previously inspected. She then looks back in Luke's direction, but something behind him catches her eye, something coming out of Luke's closet. She stands up and walks over to the closet and sees a guitar headstock poking its way out of the closet just barely. Mary reaches to grab the headstock and pulls it out. As she does, she reveals the rest of the acoustic instrument to find that the body has been smashed to pieces. Mary seems surprised and looks at Luke.
What's this?
That's my guitar, or I guess it was.
What happened?
It's a long story.
Luke stands up and walks over to look at his long-lost friend.
Oh my god. Is this why you quit playing? You kept breaking guitars after gigs like Kurt Cobain? After a while, that's got to get expensive. She's so dumb.
Someone smashed it, all right, but it wasn't me.
Mary looks at Luke, puzzled.
I came home one night and my dad was drunk. He was throwing stuff all over the house. I tried to calm him down, but it just made him more mad. My guitar was sitting nearby and he picked it up and smashed it into the floor.
Oh my gosh. Has he never tried to get you another one?
I don't think so. He remembers it. It happened. I don't think he remembers that it even happened.
Why didn't you get yourself a new guitar?
Just never had the money. My dad lost his job a bit after that, and I've been having to support us both since then. Besides, playing is a waste of time for me at this point. If anything, my dad did me a favor. Not having a guitar allowed me to move on.
Mary sets the broken guitar back down onto the floor and then walks over to Luke's bed and sits down.
Luke, I am so sorry. I had no idea about any of this.
Oh my gosh. Luke walks over near the bed and sits down next to Mary.
It's nice to have someone to talk to for once. Thanks.
Mary looks over at Luke and Luke turns his head back to look at Mary. Their eyes lock for a few moments and everything in the small rundown apartment is quiet.
Hold on.
Luke looks at Mary quizzically. With her camera still draped around her neck from earlier, Mary turns it on and looks in the viewfinder and snaps a quick picture of Luke.
There. That's a... My tablet's actually about to die. That's a better one than from earlier.
Mary turns her camera back off and lets it dangle from her neck once again. Then a loud crash is heard. The front door to the apartment slams shut quickly. Luke stands up from the bed quickly and walks out of his room to see his father standing in the entryway of the apartment with the bag in his hand. Mary stands up too and slowly follows behind.
Oh, hey, where'd you go?
Logan.
Just ran to the store for a second. When did you get back?
A couple of minutes ago.
Mark walks slowly into the nearby kitchen and sets the bag he is holding down on the counter. He pulls out a new bottle of whiskey from the bag and sets it down. He looks back in Luke's direction and sees Mary walking out of Luke's room from behind Luke.
Who's this?
Luke turns around and sees Mary standing.
Oh, yeah. Dad, this is Mary.
Hi, it's nice to meet you.
Mark looks back at his bottle of whiskey and begins unscrewing the lid off.
Yeah, you too. Luke, I'm about to make dinner. I don't have enough for your friend. Just letting you know.
Dad, come on.
No, that's fine. I'll probably need to leave anyways.
Dad, come on.
Luke, looking frustrated, turns to look at his dad before then looking back at Mary.
You work tonight?
No, I just need to get home. It's getting late.
All right, let me walk you out.
Luke begins walking to the door and Mary follows him. He opens the door up and Mary looks in Mark's direction and says goodbye.
It was nice to meet you.
Uh-huh.
Mary walks through the door and out into the hallway and Luke follows her, shutting the door behind him.
Sorry about my dad. He's not the most welcoming guy.
No, he seems great. I'll just have to talk to him another time when I don't need to get home.
A beat.
Keep on accidentally hitting shit. I don't know. Oh. What
By the
was
way-
the last thing you said?
A beat.
Beat.
Blah 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 blah.
No,
blah,
it seems
blah.
great. I have to talk to him another time when I don't need to get home. A beat.
Bottom of 46.
To cut some
Okay.
time, Logan. How could you never have her say, "Luke, is this your father?"
What's that from?
Just some nerdy thing. You know, a real big nerd like Luke probably would have appreciated a line like that.
Oh, a beat. I haven't hung out with anyone in a long time. This was fun today. Thanks.
Mary smiles.
We'll do this again soon. You got a week off of work, after all.
Yeah, I gotta find something to keep me busy.
Text me again soon, all right?
Yeah, I will.
Mary turns to leave and Luke watches her as she walks away. As she turns the corner and leaves his sight, Luke opens the door back up to his apartment and goes inside. When he gets inside, Mark has finished pouring himself a glass of his newly bought whiskey. Luke looks at him and then begins to head in his room.
Who was that?
I told you who she was. Mary.
Yeah, thanks. I meant, who is she?
Just a friend.
Luke continues to walk into his room and closes the door behind him. He walks over to his bed and lies down on it. He pulls his phone and headphones out of his pocket and puts the headphones into his ears and begins to play music while closing his eyes.
All right,
Fade
we're
out.
stopping. Holy crap.
All right. Okay.
So what? How long was that?
That was 47 pages.
No, I mean,
That was an hour and 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Dear God.
47 pages.
I can't wait. I can't wait for part 2 someday.
Yeah.
Man.
Geez. Wow. We did not mean to go that long.
we've committed, dude. We have to do part
It
2
was
at
great.
one point.
Yes.
We're
we
on a
can
big
do part
cliffhanger.
2. Let's not do it next week.
Oh, not
We can
next
do it
week,
another time.
no. But
We'll
we'll do it
part
one
2
day.
another time later.
Okay. She's a
Pretty bad.
yeah. She's a real. I don't want to talk to her ever. I don't want to hang out with her. I don't want to buy drinks from her.
I
think it's
assume-
She
just
takes
like-
shitty photography.
I think if I don't know, the way I had it, like the scenes in my head don't work when we read them out loud at all.
By the way, it was great to know that this takes place into the future when you talk about dusting off a PS4.
Yeah. Or the 3 World Series mentioned.
3 back-to-back World Series.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
yes.
So it's I told you it was not very good, and I told you it really doesn't go anywhere, and it's not even overly funny either.
But it's
Well,
funny when we get us 3 reading it.
Maybe.
When you
I
get
don't
these
know.
beautiful boys doing their beautiful voices.
I had
Yeah.
a great time doing it.
That was
I
that was a blast. I haven't laughed that hard in a long time.
Is there any more Nancy?
Oh my gosh! Please,
I don't
let
know if
come
Nancy
back.
shows back up unless it's
This next
wedding
one has a cashier from the coffee shop. She has to be Nancy's like cousin or sister or something.
no, Nancy. I don't think Nancy shows back up again, if I remember right.
We'll get a cameo in at the end, like Stanley.
She's the last person. Yeah, the last
She
person in the show.
is the Stanley of this universe.
This just a heads up too. So we're at what, page 47
Yes.
or something. Technically, that would be 47 minutes of the movie,
Oh
and
my gosh!
nothing has happened yet. Absolutely nothing in this movie has happened.
Well,
That's why I said definitely is a Mark Webb movie.
yeah, I'm a fan of the Before trilogy, and nothing happens in those movies. So
I was trying to make it like that though. Like that was, like I said, like very small, very character driven, very just like about interpersonal relationships and crap like that. But
I'm having fun. I can't wait.
Doesn't help when I didn't plan out very far in advance, and you're making up the story as you write, and you're just doing it to get.
Were you up
done
late
with
at night,
school.
like finishing the script?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you can tell.
Yeah,
You can
From,
tell
like-
this was last minute, and this was written by Logan Moore.
Yeah, and you could also tell I was getting very bored, and I was like, just gonna talk about the Cubs, and then we'll talk about Spider-Man. We'll talk about Bloodborne. I really like that game. I'd like to play Bloodborne right now.
Well, let's
Bunch of stuff like that.
You
take
just
us home,
made-
Logan. Take us home.
take us home.
On a last thing, you just made Mary very unlikable in my eyes. So
Oh, Mary's atrocious.
You know where to find us all. Model Pods on Twitter, Super Ruse, Max the White, That Mario Rivera, Horrorman12 on Twitter. You know everything else. If you listen to this whole episode, God be with you in your soul. And
One day, part 2 will come out.
remember to check out all of the people who advertised for us today.
Yeah, don't forget to
that
check
was
out.
From
that'll be-
Software, Naughty Dog, Sony,
Toothbrush.
Chicago Cubs, Oral-B toothbrushes, and who was the other one? There's another one in the beginning.
Marvel?
Marvel. There's
Marvel
another one in the
hopped in
beginning
there.
though.
Did you Amazon or was it part of an
Oh yeah,
Amazon? deal?
Amazon Prime. And remember to go to Amazon for Prime deals.
Don't forget to see Spider-Man Homecoming now in theaters.
Spider-Man Homecoming's in theaters, and also use promo code model in every single discount code box because it might work somewhere, and you can tell them it's from the Model Citizens Media people. So thank you, and you're welcome. I love you.
Good night. Bye. That's the end of the show. See ya.
Goodbye. Bye.